We live in an age where those in power are openly using every weapon at their disposal to impose their will upon the future. Where the principles of authoritarianism and individualism stand in open conflict in the streets, in the courts, in the news, in everyday life. Where the choices we make and the choices that are made for us have consequences no one can foresee. You do not stand alone. You do not fight alone. You do not suffer alone. We are united. We resist. We are here with you. As long as there is a truth that remains hidden, as long as lies are spread openly, we will continue to speak out. We will continue to question. We will continue to be the united resistance.
Same thing we always do. Fight them until we can't.
You know, I just noticed it's funny, like, you know, you have like a strong resemblance with Aaron Douglas, bro.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
You guys could probably like sit there and be like, hey, you know, who's the real Chief Tyrrell?
There you go. Or it could be like, I can't stream today. Can you take my place for me?
Right, exactly. Hail, everybody. It's great to see everybody in the chat. I've got a great co-host because, you know, I had Troy jump on with me because we've got a lot of the cohorts that are normally here are out doing stuff Saturday, and it was a little bit short notice. And, you know, and I'm thankful that, you know, Troy could step in and we could do, you know, Resistance because we didn't get to have one Tuesday.
Right.
Because things were happening. I had a lot going on. And I'll tell you guys here in a second what's happening with me. But let's greet the chat real quick. Tobat's here. It's great to see Mr. Tobat. It's great to see just another red shirt wrenching tonight. We've got Gap After Dark is here. Great to see Gap. How are you doing? I'm glad that you're here, Gap. Definitely. You know, it's good to have you. And of course, the better half of Mr. Troy is here.
Yes. Yes, she is.
And that is Miss Netter's Network. Great to see you, Netters. I love that you guys are doing so good. And make sure that you subscribe to Troy's channel and you know, and just support him and Netters because they're awesome people. They really are. And
I
you know,
appreciate that.
they've become really good friends to me, and they're just super loving, super supportive, and they're great. You know, and so many of you guys are like that in this chat. You guys are family to me. You know, and especially with mom and dad being gone. That feels so good. It feels so good. And I can't begin to tell you guys and gals out there in the chat how much I do appreciate you. And here's yet another person that is just like family, and that is Miss Tina Bojan. How are you doing, Tina? It's great to see you. And brightest days in the house. Hey, what's up, Zach? You know, and BD is another one that has really just stuck by. He's done so much for this channel, man. He did so much. Brightest Day, I dare say, for all the people that contributed to Pegasus Actual, Brightest Day took it to another level, and that guy really made Pegasus Actual for this channel, and I can't begin to thank him for all the past work that he did for me and everything that he did to help out. I'm forever indebted to that man, and I love you, Zach. I really do. We're also here raising funds for Mama Heretic's Memorial Fund. We are very close to the goal. We're $3,695 away. And like I said, I was going to tell you folks what's going on. What's going on right now is pretty much I finally, the lawyer got back to me. They are pushing for me to, or expediting me to get head of the estate. It should be, a fairly easy process since I'm technically the sole blood heir of everything. And the only asset is the house. Now, what I decided to do is I'm going to put the house on the market. But what I have to do first is, unfortunately, I do have to pay the little bit of shortfall that's left on the mortgage and everything, and that's going to be around $2,400. I'm hoping with this last push that we make on the Memorial Fund, we're going to pay the last installment of Mom's funeral costs, and we're going to pay that to the bank so that we can get the house on the market and everything from there, because that will enable yours truly to really kind of just go out and begin the next chapter of my life and get a new start wherever I choose to go and get a new place and everything. But, I just know that this place is too big. And I talked to some people and realized that, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home for one guy and 2 cats doesn't really add up.
Right.
So it's rather a big space. So I need to get something a little more akin to what I can do and more manageable, and also just be able to get that new start, because I think that is really gonna set me in the right direction. So if you would like to help out,
right up here, there's the link. Click right there.
Yeah, it's in the pinned tweet, or in the pinned tweet. It's in the pinned chat, in our chat. So givesendgo.com/Taylor Legacy. You can help out with that. So we've got a lot to talk about, because what the topics that we got for today, obviously we've got something that's a huge rarity, folks. We got a populist candidate that won as and she is groundbreaking. Isn't she the first female PM in Italy?
First I know of, but that I haven't been following Italian politics for a while, so.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, this lady, Giorgia Meloni, that won the prime minister election there. I mean, she's just absolutely fabulous. And, the thing that I want you folks to understand about Giorgia Meloni is what is of note about her is she has publicly thrown the gauntlet on the table when it comes to people like the World Economic Forum, when it comes to the global elites. She said flat out, look, we're not going to take that. We are not down with that agenda. We're not going to let Italy fall to that. So she is putting her money where her mouth is right now, and she's stepping up and saying, you are not crossing this line, globalists. And I give her all the credit in the world, because right now, she, that woman has taken on an exceptional challenge. Because, think about it. There are a lot of world leaders that will not stand up to it. I mean, obviously, there's a number of world leaders that are in with these people. You know, we know Trudeau is. We obviously know the Biden administration is. We know that many others are. Zelensky, you know, of note, which we'll get to that topic here after a while, because there's things popping up with that too. But Georgia Maloney is awesome. And I want to share this. This is from a gentleman named Greg Price. This is a clip that I found on the Twitters. And I will go ahead and share this and let you guys see what Georgia Maloney is all about. And this is from her speech. And let's go ahead and share this up and play it. I got to make sure that I'm not going to boomer the audio this time. Here we go.
Potrei farne tante altre di queste domande. A monte c'è quella che ci facciamo oggi: perché la famiglia è un nemico? Perché la famiglia fa così paura? C'è una risposta unica per tutte queste domande: perché ci definisce, perché è la nostra identità, perché tutto quello che ci definisce in questo tempo è un nemico, per chi vorrebbe che non avessimo più un'identità e che fossimo solamente schiavi, consumatori perfetti. E allora è sotto attacco l'identità nazionale, è sotto attacco l'identità religiosa, è sotto attacco l'identità di genere, è sotto attacco l'identità familiare. Non devo potermi definire italiana, cristiana, donna, madre, no. Io devo essere cittadino X, genere X, genitore 1, genitore 2, devo essere un numero. Perché quando sarò solamente un numero, quando non avrò più un'identità, quando non avrò più radici, beh, allora sarò lo schiavo perfetto in balia della grande speculazione finanziaria, il consumatore perfetto. E questa è la ragione per la quale oggi noi facciamo tanta paura. Questa è la ragione per la quale oggi questo appuntamento fa tanta paura. Perché noi non vogliamo essere dei numeri, noi siamo qui per dire che noi non siamo dei numeri, noi difenderemo il valore della persona umana, di ogni singola persona umana, perché ognuno di noi ha un codice genetico unico e irripetibile. E questo, piaccia o no, ha del sacro. Lo difenderemo Dio, la patria e la famiglia, che fanno tanto schifo a qualcuno. Lo faremo per difendere la nostra libertà, perché noi non saremo mai schiavi e semplici consumatori in balia della speculazione finanziaria. Ecco la nostra missione, ecco perché oggi sono venuta qui. Scriveva Chesterton ormai più di un secolo fa, vediamo se ve lo trovo. Fuochi verranno attizzati per dimostrare che 2 più 2 fa 4. Spade verranno sguainate per dimostrare che le foglie sono verdi in estate. Quel tempo è arrivato, signori. Siamo pronti. Grazie.
Now, that, my friends, is one hell of a woman right there. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. She sat there and basically threw down the gauntlet to the globalists and said, we are not going to have that in our country. And yes, real quick, I just want to say, yes, Red Shirt and Gap, you guys more than deserve those wrenches. Absolutely. But yeah, Viva Italia for that. Absolutely.
Did you catch that when she was saying, you know, how they're going after our identities? I identify, she said what? Italia, right? Mm-hmm. Italia, because she's a woman, right? Italian is a language that is gendered, right? Mm-hmm. So as soon as you hear them start talking about Italiex or something like that, I know that wasn't the main point of what she was getting at, but I could, when you hear someone speaking in a Latin language, you go, yeah. They're literally attacking your culture, your language, your gender. They're attacking everything that you hold dear. You know?
And Red Shirt makes the point right there. No wonder she's got the transnational progressive panic. Yep. Absolutely, because listen, we know what the goal of these people is. It is basically to strip the national identity from the nation states. They're doing this in sequence. And that's why you hear Klaus Schwab brag Well, we have, governments across the world with people installed and everything else. They brag that they're going to do this. You
And
know.
you're talking about the globalists, you're talking about the statists,
Hmm.
but the know nothings that are out there supporting them, pushing for war in Ukraine, pushing for the staying in the European Union, if you're trying to Brexit, or we need to globalize and all this kind of stuff, one world order and everything. These idiots who subscribe to this mental, I won't use the word on your channel, but this idea of philosophy over reality,
Hmm.
that think, we need to give up our freedoms. We need to give up our borders. We need to give up and sacrifice for the greater good, the greater good, the greater good. But people with some intelligence go, no, wait a minute, right?
Yeah.
When you are in an airplane and the masks come down, what do they say? Put on the mask for yourself before you try putting it on your child.
Hmm.
Because if you pass out, you're both doomed, right?
Yeah.
Take care of yourself first, then you can take care of everyone else. There is nothing wrong with looking out as a country, as a leader who is elected to be a leader of a country, to look out for that country first. That's your responsibility. That's the job
Yes.
that you were elected for. And then the country, standing on its own, can say, and I'll help the rest of you out also. But first me, then you.
And Tobat says, when I heard the speech the first time, she won my vote, and I'm not even Italian. Yeah, and that's the thing. She has more spine than any politician that I've seen stand up,
Yep.
in our country. I mean, we have a few that are good talkers and some that will stand up, but we don't have enough yet. We need a populist in power that can win and be that. Is it President Trump again? Who knows? Is it DeSantis? Who knows? But we need someone like a Georgia Maloney to
Yep.
do what needs to be done, because as Troy just told you folks, it's so important when you're the leader of a country to take care of your citizens, to sit there and say, listen, we're going to address the borders. We're going to address the poverty, the homelessness. We're going to make sure we take care of our country's citizens first before we let the outsiders come in and try to help them. We are going to take care of Italian citizens first, or American citizens first. That is what being a country is about. And they've tried to demonize the word nationalist, but there is nothing wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with it. You know,
And what? Oh, go ahead.
no, I was going to tell you, Troy, they've sat there, and it's funny, the liberal media in our country has sat there, the mainstream has gone and demonized this woman and saying she's far right. She is, the next fascist. She's like Mussolini. They compared this woman to Mussolini.
I would say one thing. I think we need to stop referring to it as the liberal media. It's not the liberal media anymore. It is the statist propagandist media now. It is no longer liberal versus conservative. It is now statists versus populist, is what it really is. And she is a populist candidate. And the populists are winning worldwide. They have the people behind them. And the statists are scared. They see these things happening. And yeah, whether it's Trump, whether it's DeSantis or somebody else, I am not telling people vote Republican, because most Republicans are as statist as most of the Democrats. Listen to what people say. Listen to or look at what they do. I can't hear what you say over how loud your actions are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's there's a lot of GOP candidates that I would not vote for anymore.
Yeah, there's another There's another bombshell tweet that I saw, folks, that I really want to share with you because I shared this with a few people. And Troy, I don't even know if you've seen this one. This is a good one too. This came across my timeline, and this is from a gal that is named what is her name? Let's see here. Just a girl. It's her Twitter at is at all bite no bark 88. But this is a hell of a tweet. I don't know if this is her or if she got this piece of video from somewhere else, but man, folks, this is over the target. And I will warn you now, hopefully we don't get pulled down over this video, but this is a hell of a video. And I will go ahead and play this. Just listen to this. It's 2 minutes long, folks.
Between World War II and now. Yesterday, Putin told us that we need to wake up, that the Nazis, in fact, won World War II, and instead they fled to America and regrouped. And we all know about the rumors about the British monarchy. They're not really rumors. But during World War II, and this is factual, the Nazis, who we believed were a political party, but really it was all led by a family, the Rothschilds, did a massive transference of wealth from a certain section of the Jewish community, their art, their money, their property, assets all round, and they stole that from them. And to make sure that there was never a cry about war crimes or crimes about humanity, they shipped them all off to concentration camps and slaughtered them. In a parallel universe in 2022, we have got the largest transference of wealth predicted by the Rothschilds in 1998 in their publication, The Economist, from the 99% to the 1%, run by the World Economic Forum, a forum of which the Rothschilds are pivotal, if not the big boss. And just prior to this massive transference of wealth, we saw apparently a once-in-a-century pandemic that required most of the population, they would have preferred all of the population, to be injected in a human trial with gene-altering therapy in these mRNA injections.
Yep.
Many people have died. There are millions of reports of adverse reactions. This death and loss and sickness and uncertainty will now be at the forefront of these people's minds, their personal health for years. And that's a great way to take the focus away from the second massive transference of wealth since World War II. These people are repugnant.
Yep.
Damn, that is a very, very, very over the target observation. And, kudos to this woman or wherever she got that piece of video. But man, you listen to that and you understand just exactly where things are at. And hail, Vince Womack, it's great to see you. Great to see you, buddy. Man, what just your thoughts on that, Troy?
Well, I got to say that, when you hear these kinds of things, I think a lot of people have this immediate gut reaction that says, oh, that's just conspiracy theory. It's not a theory when it turns out to be a fact. Conspiracies happen all the time. It's just anyone who has paid even the teeniest, tiniest amount of attention to history has seen it. It's clear and obvious, and it does happen. And it's pretty natural when you think about it. The people who have want more. The more power they get, the more they try to take. It's gonna happen. You shouldn't be surprised. And when you think that somebody in the government, what was it Ronald Reagan says? The thing that should fill you with fear is when someone from it says, I'm here from the government, I'm here to help.
The most
terrifying
they
are.
You can hear. Yeah.
These same people that are making laws, right, are the same ones that don't want there to be any kind of a term limit on them. Why? Because they want to be there for as long as possible so that they can manipulate the market, so that they and their relatives can make as much money in the market as possible. But you don't get that option. It's insider trading if you do that kind of thing, you know, and they get richer and richer. And then they talk about the common person, the poor person, the bull crap. It's rules for thee and not for me is what it is. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact.
Well, Vince Tobat says, hi, I'm for the government and I'm here to help. Yeah, those are terrifying words. And Vince adds, in the last couple of years, the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is about 3 months. Yeah. And
that joke used to be 3 years. Mm-hmm. Then it was 6 months. Then it was 3 months. Honestly, I see the stuff happening in real time. There is no gap anymore. If you're paying attention.
Yeah, this is true. And this is why we go back to why Georgia Maloney's important.
Yep.
She is basically fucking that whole wheel up. Pardon my French, but she's fucking that whole system up. She's throwing a wrench in the works, and that is what is going. And boy, I that lady's going to be on a kill list. I'm telling you, she is going to be a target.
If nothing else comes out of her victory, it's giving voice to the general public, the populace, the people that are mad as hell and not going to take it anymore. Now, I don't know a great deal about, like I said, about Italian politics or the way their government works and whatnot. I've heard some commenters who know a lot more than I do that I respect a great deal saying she's not going to be able to make a great deal of change, but if nothing else, she definitely does bring these things to light and starts getting people in Europe, not just Italy, throughout Europe, start going, yeah, does NATO, does the European Union, do they really have our best interests at heart as I struggle in my daily life?
Well, you have to, anybody that is on the fence about this stuff that we talk about, listen, all you have to do is go back through history and say, well, why in the first place did they set up central banks? Okay? Why did they set central banks up? Oh, wait, to control things.
Yeah. Why did we go off the gold standard? So that we could make the dollar valued at whatever we want it to, right? Those kinds of shenanigans would get the average person thrown in jail, but governments, they can do whatever they want, apparently.
Yeah. Let's bring in another Viva Italia man.
Buongiorno.
Let's bring in the stereotype. Hello, welcome stereotype. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were doing this so early, man. I was at a football game.
Yeah. Well, we just played the Italian PM's speech.
I didn't see it. I guess I'll have to watch it on my own time.
But we were talking about the fact that she's on the platform, that she, wants to, have things from a common sense level. Men, women, family. She wants to put the right things first. The basics of society, the real basics of the reality of society. And, it's like right here, Will, the comment that Vince made, country, family, and religion, she must be an extremist. And that's the way they look at her. We were talking earlier before you got on here about how the mainstream media has painted this. The headlines I was reading,
well,
that this woman...
but all it takes is the headline, because I remember when the election first ended and she won the election. The first headlines I saw were new Italian prime minister, closest thing we've seen to Mussolini.
Yes, thank you.
What does everybody read from that? Oh my God, it's Mussolini.
Yeah.
It's a femme Mussolini.
Except the ones that have heard such protestations for the past, 5 years. And everybody is a Yahtzee. Everyone is, far right. Everyone is, and they listen to what people actually go, and they go, well, that doesn't sound wrong. That doesn't sound bad. That doesn't sound like, if everybody is a Yahtzee, then nobody is.
You have to read between the lines, though, because the fact is, if it's not your platform, it's easy to say if it's not your platform that the other person must be batshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple. And in the end, this is a world that is run by headlines. Because what percentage of people are really reading beyond the Bible?
Actually read the article, right?
Please.
Well, I mean, I was just talking a little while ago about the average dullard that is stupid enough to support the statists and the globalists, and it's the same kind of people that, I don't know, Drew, if you saw the other video, the actress or whatever with Bell's palsy.
Oh God! And she said that she would
do it again. She said. That is the kind of stupid we're dealing with. Okay, we're no longer talking about theories. We're no longer talking about statistics. We are talking about someone who actually had something happen to her, and she goes, oh, and I do it all again. Well, you know what? Darwin needs to do his work on you then. That's all I can say.
I mean, how?
You guys aren't talking about Roseanne, are you?
No. It's not Roseanne. This is
some gal I'd never heard of before.
I'm sorry, no, I was wrong. Roseanne claimed that she has Bell's palsy.
This is just a woman that actually had it, and she showed the symptoms of what she had, and she said, I would do this again. And I'm thinking, how the hell indoctrinated are you, lady?
In context, okay, I like to not be taken out of... So you listen to what she said, and I could see it taken one of two ways. Either way isn't good. On the one hand, she said it's what we need to do in order to see people. And on the one hand, it could be we need to comply in order for us to get our lives back, which is still stupid sheeple thinking, right? Or the other way of seeing it is it's what we need to do because I still believe this is going to help, with the pandemic and the blah, 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 and this and that. And that's what we need to do to be able to function as a society. Either way, really stupid.
I found the clip, buddy. So let's.
There you go.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Before you play the clip, I'm sorry, but are you saying something like, to cure the disease, we have to give it to a certain number of people and test it?
I wasn't saying that, but I see your point.
No, I'm not finished yet. No, not for the purpose of anything sinister, but that is it's like Reese's Monkeys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and check this out, guys. This is a Canadian actress, Jennifer Gibson, by the way, is her name. So look at this. I mean, and folks, you will see how just indoctrinated that she is. Let me play it.
Not a video I want to make, and it's kind of hard to make because as I'm watching myself, I see what I'm going to say, which is I have been diagnosed with Bell's palsy, which is paralysis on one side of the face. For me, it's this side here, the left, obviously. So I got it about 2 weeks after getting my vaccine. And I had a rough go with the vaccine, and I guess still am. But I have to say that I would do it again because it's what we have to do to see people. So I don't know why I'm making this video, but
me neither.
I just
what does that mean? So to see people, I don't even get. Is that like some retreat
in Canada? In order to get out of lockdown, they had to get the shots in order to move.
Literally, okay. All right,
yes, to literally see other people. Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah,
but you can't blame me for thinking that, though. We've heard a lot of this,
Yep.
I'm gonna wax poetic on the pandemic to sound cool,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's exactly it. Now, Again, another thing to keep this in context, I did a little looking into it. I guess the Bell's palsy has cleared up or has gotten significantly better because this is an older post. This isn't recent. This was months ago. that doesn't make what she said any better, because she said it when
I don't
she
think
had
there's
no way of
statute of
knowing if it was going to get
limitations
better.
on Twitter videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought
here.
at least there wasn't for Kevin Spacey, right? I mean,
The point is
don't read
you
anything
know,
else into that, by the way.
Yeah.
it's scary the amount of indoctrination that people with these just I guess feeble minds that they can't break free of the programming. I mean, hell, I've been clued into this. Good God, for at least 12 years of what's happening.
Yeah.
Hell, 2009, 2010, the minute that I found out about UN Agenda 21 and did simple research, I knew what time it was.
Yep.
And my goodness, when you go back that far, even, and you realize the amount of programming, indoctrination, just
That's an
absolute bombardment that we've been under. I applaud the people that didn't get caught up in that, and I applaud the people that managed to keep their rational mind.
And you used exactly the right phrases. The indoctrination, right? It is cult mentality. If you look into and understand how cults operate, you'll see what's happening in our society right now, where first they isolate you from your loved ones and people that would say this isn't a smart thing to do. These people don't have your best interests at mind. They get you to believe they're looking out for you and not anybody else. Do what we say because it's what's best for you and it's what's best for everyone. And then as you continue along and you've cut off all your ties with all the people you care about and you've invested so much in this ideology that when you start to doubt, your mind just can't deal with that. I've given up my entire life. This is all I have left. I have to double and triple and quadruple down on this insanity because it's all I got left. That's a cult.
It is. It's just it's crazy. Just that people can still be on that train. And it's again, it's a thing. It's like the Borg mentality, right?
Yep.
These people will sit there that argue for this, and they'll tell you, we all have to do our part. We have to do this collectively. It's all about the greater good. Well, what is the greater good? What are we pushing towards? You're not telling me anything except it's for
like
the
an
greater
endless game
good.
of Candy Crush.
Right.
There's an infinite number of levels. You don't know
what
where the top is, but you're gonna get there.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's hard to actually even conversate with these people because they so firmly believe that they're, quote, doing their part, and then they're just sucked in to this. There was a great video I saw the other day, Troy, that hit Twitter, where it was just a bunch of joggers jogging past this, street cafe, and I forget where it was, but all of a sudden, the people sitting in the street cafe got up and ran because they thought the joggers were people running from something, so they just joined in.
Oh my gosh!
And this tells you where things are at. You want to talk about mass formation psychosis?
Yep,
it's real. It is 100% real.
That's exactly that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we're seeing it in real time, you guys.
That's exactly what I think when my life is in danger. Oh my God, we're all gonna die. Let's jog away as fast as we can.
Yeah, well, but I do understand there is that the basic human instinct, it's a survival instinct based on millions of years of evolution. You see a bunch of people running, they're probably running from something you don't know about. Maybe we should run. I think what that tells us more, that incident you just described, tells us more about what people think is going on in the world right now. That they think that there should be something that they should be running from. And I'm not sure they're wrong.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, I mean, what they're thinking what they're thinking they might need to be running from is something that has been told to them that is, not exactly
True,
on the
true,
level.
true.
Just
And there's some things that could be coming that you're not going to be able to run from.
Yeah, and I want to. I'm gonna.
it's Hunter Biden's robot. Run.
And I just want to say, folks, listen. We're to get to the goal, which is 11K. We're only $3,695 away. If you would like to, even if you can just share the link, it does help, because you never know whose eyes it'll get in front of. As I said, we're making a push to get that final payment to make the last installment on Mom's final expenses, as well as pay the bank what they need so that I could get this home on the market, get that mortgage caught up, and have it free and clear to put on the market and get a brand new start. So if you can help out with this, please do. I do need a little help, because it's just in the amount of time that the bank requires those funds, and my current pay installment at work, and just not going to be able to make it all in work pay as soon as the bank needs it. So if we can get to that goal, that'll be awesome. It'll be a huge help, and it'll be an investment in not only Mama Heretic's final expenses, but our family legacy, because I can start a new chapter in that, and that's admirable. So any help is greatly appreciated, even if we just share out that link. So thank you.
I can say something about that, I know the kind of people that are in your chat. I know these are people with good hearts. I assume you're probably a lot like me when I'm out driving or whatever, and I see the guy with the sign or whatever, or the hat or the jar. I don't know what his story is. I just can't. I can't walk by and not give something if I got it. A couple coins, $1, whatever. And if they're just using it to get a drink, I don't need to know it. I followed my conscience. Well, this guy over here, him. You know what the need is. So by the same token, if you got a few bucks, just, click that link over there, And these days with the cards and everything, it's so much simpler than, pulling the jacks and the coins out of your pocket, So anyway, just thanks for letting me ramble a second.
Oh, no, I really do appreciate it. And actually, I'm going to run to the boys' room. So you and Will can,
the two Italians.
know each other while you're
the Italians can go ham for a second. I'll be right back.
There you go. But yeah, buongiorno. There's I'm trying to remember the name of the YouTuber. He's an Italian guy. I mean, literally Italian, from Italy. He's a linguist and a historian, and he does a bunch of videos about it. And he's got one rant.
I think I know who you're talking about. My mother, when she before she passed away a couple of years ago, used to watch this guy. I think I know who you're talking about. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yeah, he's got one of those names where it's a pseudonym because it's the name of his channel. But he went off on, he was trying to find Japanese pronunciations, and he was realizing that the very popular page he was going to was just horrible.
Oh,
and so he's
I put it in, the first name that comes up is Sebastian Maniscalco.
See, I don't know his real name. That's the problem.
No, Sebastian Maniscalco is a comedian that has a residency in Vegas. That's
okay, gotcha. But he was saying that the Italian was the worst, because he said that this person that's pronouncing the words is using such stereotypical Italian pronunciations that are nothing like how Italian is pronounced, and he's mocking it, going fettuccine, Alfredo, and he's And I'm laughing so hard because I get that. I hear that all the
I laughed at the
time.
beginning. I didn't laugh for long. It got old and it got tired, and I'm like, really, man, this is what you got to do.
Yep. But
And
anyway,
listen, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm off the boat. I'm like 4 generations removed from off the boat.
same here. Same 4 generations. Same here. Yeah.
Give or take a generation. I don't remember.
But it's funny.
All
Well,
those people are dead and gone. I'd have to 23.
the Italian was lost in the Italian language was lost because my grandmother and grandfather were second generation. They were born here. And although they knew Italian from their parents, they were dialectically different enough that they had trouble talking to each other, so they just spoke Italian.
It's also a regional thing too. It's not just like all Italian is not the same.
Absolutely.
People in Milan do not speak the same way people in
No.
Siena do.
And this was the difference between Calabrese and Genoese.
Exactly.
And they couldn't understand each other. So my mother didn't speak any Italian. So
And then you find out that, and then you're a father, and you find out your daughter's dating your Calabrese and you're Genovese, and then the war starts. And
but in the United States, it's like, well, at least it's
Drew,
Italian,
you
know.
You have no context. Don't say a word.
All right. So
You're not from the boot. You're not really Italian.
yeah.
I'm not from the boot. The boot? Really?
Yeah.
So you turned it into what's his name already, right?
Yeah.
You know the funny thing though is I wanted to get into the second topic, and again, I hate to be the harbinger of doom and gloom, folks, but listen, let's talk a little bit about World War III, because it's actually been trending the last few days, if you're paying attention to your Twitter trends. And
I'm just saying, you might want to think about getting yourself some potassium iodide just to have it, because you won't be able to get it later.
Yeah, well, the thing is, look, I'm sure a lot of people don't necessarily trust Vladimir Putin. I know I don't. I know many of us don't, but he has correctly pointed out a couple of things. He's pointed out why people in America are under mass formation psychosis. He's pointed out just exactly who is purveying the things that put people under the mass formation psychosis. And he's pointed out the problem that people are following the completely wrong ideology in leadership. Yeah. And
well, when he says something like, the government of Ukraine is all a bunch of, German socialists, and people go, oh, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And you go, but wait a minute. For you to say that's ridiculous means you don't have any clue about the history of Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Which, look,
Germany for that matter.
All you have to do, and and I'll say this now, because you used to be able to go onto the World Economic Forum website. You could see right there who the list of their young global leaders. They have since scrubbed that list and hidden it away, but Zelensky is on that list, folks.
Yep.
And that's a fact. That was a fact.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, they said biolabs was a conspiracy theory. There were U.S. biolabs in Ukraine. That was a fact.
Yep.
And now you've got all of a sudden we have the sabotage of the Nord Stream. And, I was talking backstage with Troy before we went live about, well, what does this mean? Well, I'll tell you exactly what it means. It very well could lead to an all-out war. And why is this what is this push to war? Why is this going to happen? Because, Russia did not, and that's the latest theory that the mainstream media is pushing, that Russia sabotaged their own shit.
Which is ridiculous. That's the
Which-
stupidest idea I ever heard. They have the ability to turn it off on their side. There is no reason to destroy the infrastructure, because if they do that, they have no leverage. The idea is you turn it off and you go, if you want me to turn it back on, you need to play ball with us. Come sit down at the table.
Well,
Someone blows it up. Now you don't have that negotiating ability.
Well, they're the energy provider for Germany and a bunch of other countries and everything else. So why would they turn that off?
Right.
Ukraine is the elite's big money laundering operation. Yes, Red Shirt is 100% on that. But again, if you look at this, the Nord Stream, Biden called this. He said, we're going to take out the Nord Stream.
Yep. He said it in February.
Nobody
in a public speech.
Yeah.
And that is
For all we know,
circulating
that's not
out
what
there.
it's called. Maybe somebody told him what it was called and he screwed it up. And you're like, let's just go with it. It doesn't matter.
No, I think what happened was he knew something the president needs to know, but isn't competent enough to know to keep his mouth shut about it. That's what happened.
Or both.
Yeah. And you have to wonder, was this a covert op that took this out? Listen, folks, I firmly believe, and this is my opinion, so I'm going to go on record and say, look, this is my opinion, but I firmly believe that we took out the Nord Stream pipeline.
Yep. The evidence is pretty clear. I mean, we at least have as much evidence that it was the U.S. responsible for it as we did that there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Okay? I mean, at least that much. But that should also cause you to have some bells ringing in the back of your head, because you know the way the U.S. works if you think back to Kuwait. It's called a false flag, people. Look into it. It's been happening throughout American history.
Yep. And Tolbat's talking about the Baltic pipe. The other pipeline could be ran to Poland. Yep. And that's another reason. It's ridiculous. They want to push for this war only because, number one, it benefits the global military industrial complex.
Exactly. That's the answer to everything, right? Cui bono. Who benefits, right? Russia does not benefit from this, because if at a later date they want to then sell their oil to someone else, they've got to fix that infrastructure again. Whereas they could just as easily have turned it off. But if you want to separate Europe from the East, you are the one that's got a specific reason for destroying that infrastructure.
Just Another Red Shirt says, U.S. subs tapped a common cable in the Sea of Okhotsk. How hard would it be to blow up an undersea pipeline?
Not at all. Not difficult at all.
Or tapped a comms cable, I should say.
Yep.
But Vince Womack says instead of buying gas from Russia, now countries are buying Russian gas from China. Bingo.
Exactly. And that's the irony, right? Because Bobo is out there saying it's the Putin tax hike, right? A gas hike or whatever. And it's like, well, why are we getting oil from Russia? Why aren't we supplying our own oil? Because you shut down the pipeline, because you said we can't drill, because you decided that we're going to get green. And by get green, it means spend more money to buy the same oil from China at a markup. That makes zero economic sense. If you think about it in terms of what would make sense economically, that's not their priority. That's not their purpose.
Oh, no, it's not their purpose whatsoever. But, if you pay attention, you look at how as you alluded to, Troy, like the war in Iraq was orchestrated.
Yep.
Again, by globalists, Rumsfeld, Bush, Cheney, You know, the Bush family are globalists. You know,
Yep.
they're globalists through and through. That's why we say two wings on the same bird, people. That's a prime example. The Bush family and the Clintons were the same damn thing. You know, they
Again,
just
cui bono, right? Because how did that turn out? Look at the withdrawal from Afghanistan last year. We threw it all away. All those lives, all that money, screw it, we're done. Because we're on to another war now that's going to do nothing for anybody.
Yeah. Well, how stupid are these countries to rely on one freaking pipeline? You should have had infrastructure in place a long time ago so they didn't have to depend on anybody. Oops, that makes sense. Yeah. Well,
that makes sense for the U.S. especially because we have those resources. There's a lot of countries, though, like Germany, they don't have a great deal of their own oil. They've got to buy from someone else.
Yeah. You know, the Vince says the redhead moron said Biden has no influence over the gas prices. I know. Good old Jen Sucky before she.
But let's circle back on that point.
Yeah, exactly. Before she took a sweetheart deal with DNC, she said that she literally said Biden has no influence over the gas prices, which is funny as all get out because they do, because again, go back to what they're doing here. They may have the Green New Deal may not have passed, but all of this stuff that has been written into Biden policy since is all Green New Deal shit. So you know, all the whole green thing. For those of you that think, if anybody in the chat, and I'm pretty sure none of you buy into the green nonsense because you all know it's a scam.
Yep.
Most of us know it's a scam. But in case anybody in the chat doesn't know it's a scam, it is a scam. Because when you add it up, it basically is a bunch of junk science. It's not going to work. You know, you're not going to get enough energy generated from fucking windmill farms. You're not going to get enough energy by solar alone. You're not going to get enough.
Where you could get the energy would be nuclear.
Yeah.
So why are they shutting that down?
Because again, they want to say, oh, you can't get it from anywhere but these places.
Exactly.
They don't want to.
They don't want you to not use gas. They don't want you to not use oil. They just want you to use the gas and oil they want you to use, and they want to be able to jack up the
just
price.
Like the drug war back in the 90s. We don't want you using their drugs. We want you using our drugs.
Right.
It's all the same.
Exactly. You know,
if it's our heroin, go nuts.
Yeah.
The green nude eel.
I love it. I love it, Red Shirt.
That's a weird mental picture.
Yeah, it is. Vince says Britain shut down their gas storage and now exports it to France and has to buy it back. Yeah, I mean it's absolutely a ton of crazy
selling.
Ridiculous.
Because people aren't paying attention and they forget what they said last year when Biden said, we're getting off oil. We're getting off oil, so you need to get with the program. But then he goes and buys oil from China. It's like, clearly he didn't mean it. He meant, we're not going to use our oil that would be cheaper. We need to funnel the money to where we need it to funnel to. So we're going to do this, that, and the other thing.
Glenser makes a great point.
There was once a Green Day song. I'm sure you've heard of it, called Know Your Enemy.
Yeah.
And if anybody's ever listened to that song and listened to the lyrics of that song, they'll know that what Green Day was saying made sense. They'll also know that this is not exactly what they meant, what's going on right now when they wrote back in, what was it, like 20,
well, they're a bunch of flaming liberals, so I don't trust them.
Well, at the same time, you know what? Every now and then, those flaming liberals accidentally make sense.
This is why, again, I kind of say we need to change our mindset about the previous terms. Liberal means something very different than a lot of people think it means.
That song came out, really.
I think because I'm finding more and more that I am agreeing with classical liberals, than I am with the people that now call themselves liberals that are really socialists.
Yeah.
You know?
Glenzer says, I thought Green Deal meant more money for political donors. Yep, spot on, brother.
There is something to that, but I do also like the idea that instead of a Green New Deal, it's a Green Day song.
Yeah, Tobat says I have 20.
We'll go with that.
Tobat says I have 27 300-watt solar panels. It pays a half to 2/3 of my bill, and it's barely worth it. Yeah,
Seriously,
you know.
if the city of Cleveland, which is the city that me and Drew live near, ponied up the dough, they would probably set up solar panels in Cleveland where the sun comes out like 3 days a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly.
And the other problem with those solar panels, they don't last forever.
No.
And the materials that they're made from take energy and put a bunch of crap into the air and require digging and stuff. And look at all the information about the lithium ion batteries, the cobalt and the lithium that needs to be mined and what it takes. And you're literally putting more crap into the atmosphere than you're saving, if you used oil. Honestly, it's actually worse for the environment.
It's the intangibles that are going to kill us, not the stuff you can smell or see.
But the people that believe that electric cars are somehow better, are the same kind of people that think they can power a power strip by plugging it into itself.
Yeah, the funny thing is people don't realize all the crazy materials that goes into making one of those lithium batteries, how terrible they are when they're done, when they're just cashed out, and they're just throwing these these are really hazardous shit to like sit there and try to just dump somewhere.
So just consider first, do your own research. Never believe anything we say, double check, trust but verify, if you will.
And the first thing you need to do is you need to look up exactly what lithium is.
Lithium and cobalt.
What it's actually used for.
Cobalt especially, because I've actually researched this. I know less about lithium. Cobalt, mined in Africa through actual slave labor. So if you're saying I definitely have to get an electric car that runs on lithium ion batteries, you are absolutely supporting modern day slavery. Okay, so don't ever get on a soapbox about anything with me right now.
Smoke it.
And then secondly, when you do the math and you figure out the amount of oil and gas that is used to mine that material, to ship it, to process it, and turn it into batteries, and anyone who's used batteries in their computers or their cars or whatever knows they don't last forever. What happens to them? They go into a landfill, and those materials leak into the soil. They leak into the water. How green is that? How good is that for the environment? This is not a net positive for your environment, people.
I don't know if you heard this, Drew, but so where I'm from, I was born in Staten Island, New York, and it's home to what was once the biggest landfill in the world.
That's
and
right.
Seriously, it was one of like 7 or 8 things you could see from outer space.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they did, it used to be a garbage dump. They turned it into a landfill, and they're still in the process, which has taken many years. They're turning it into a public park that is going to be bigger than Central Park on Staten Island.
Oh, Jesus.
And watch what happens. You're going to see people getting sick from fumes.
It's in walking distance from the apartment that my parents and I lived in when I was born.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
You're going to see people getting sick from fumes, and they're going to be wondering, why is this happening, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Why do I have a third forehead?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In that area, it could be for a number of different reasons. That's right. If I may slander my own, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Solar panels.
Most of you probably aren't watching this anyway. Who am I kidding?
Yeah. BB says solar panels are required by law to have 80% ability after 25 years. So.
I love when I see them, because these are what I call magic laws, right? Mm-hmm. We mandate that you make this happen in this amount of time. And it's like, sorry, that's not the way reality works. You can't just legislate reality. You can't make something more efficient. You can't make us, change. You can't make us change the laws of physics by passing a law.
Yeah, Time Prophet.
Where does it end?
Time Prophet says solar panels only last 10 years and they're not recyclable.
Yep.
And Red Shirt says, hey, wind turbines only last 10 to 15 years and the blades can't be recycled.
Yep.
So they want all this shit that can't be recycled. They want you to be stuck with nonsense. It's basically another form of selling.
Boondoggle is what it is.
It's selling snake oil, basically. Because what this is, all of this, again, and we know this, folks. It's a big Ponzi scheme, basically. It's what it is a huge money making scheme. Because think about all they've done to push the green shit, the climate change nonsense, even trotting out scientists that claim that it was this is this goes right along with science and blah blah blah. Even though when we were in school taking basic science, we learned that the Earth works in natural cycles. There's certain natural things to the Earth, but guess what? All of a sudden, that science wasn't good enough, and now they trot out the junk scientists to back up their points, so that they make more money. That's exactly what it's been.
I don't know why, but I can't help but think about that Thomas Dolby video right now.
It's
science.
They're
I think that's what it was. He said when you said science, you kind of like elevator like science. I'm like, oh my God.
They're blinding you with science. They really are. They're
what kind of science? The science that they say, or real science? See, my biggest problem is when you get down to the COOF and statistics and stuff, they cherry pick their statistics and they say, well, this is why because of this and this study and the other. And you go, well, what about this study in India? What about this study here? What about this study there? Oh no, we're not looking at that. Oh, really? Because usually the way science works is you take the preponderance of evidence and you analyze all of it. You don't just look for the confirmation bias.
Well,
you have to. The one thing in this world that's supposed to be the one thing in this world that is the ultimate absolute science, and it's just amazing how we let it come to this point where revisionist statistical manipulation. I'm sorry, Drew. Go ahead. I'm ready.
No, I was just going to say, our viewers are making great points. We're talking about. The alternatives, hydrogen, and Vince says I'll wait for my atomic power car. But the thing is
Mr. Fusion.
If you think about it, okay, there are alternatives. There are good alternatives. But why are they burying those alternatives? Because they want to push this on you. Yep. They want to continue this because essentially what this all is again, and this goes to the larger picture of stuff like Ukraine. It's a money sink. All of this is a huge money sink to dump money out of our economy to make you poor so that every single person is dependent on government funds and programs so that you never find your way off of it, and that's what it is, because that's their glorious way of saying, we're going to the government is going to save you by sitting there and providing, all of your needs. You will own nothing and like it.
Right.
And that's exactly how they're pushing it with all of these ridiculous time-wasting investments. But it's terrible. But a lot of people can't see the forest for the trees, and the people that defend this nonsense, that defend like all this green policy and everything else, I just laugh because I know it's one of the biggest scams that we have. you know, and I think all of us in the end see that all of us and you guys that watch the channel, you guys are smart enough to know exactly what's happening, and Time Profits puts it perfectly. Electric cars will help you in an apocalypse. Amen. You know, that's it. And you know, and by the way, Time Profit, I saw on Twitter, Time Profit's playing guitar, and he actually sounds pretty good. And so props to Time Profit for that. But you know, the thing is, and not to break the fourth wall here, but while it's fresh in my mind, Will, I'm gonna go to the Brew Kettle tomorrow and watch the Browns game if you are gonna be there.
If I'm awake.
But anyways, to go back to the discussion. Sorry to derail, chat, but
No,
that's just me and Will spitballing since he lives not far enough, but not far. But yeah,
not like we planned it or anything.
Yeah, but the thing is yeah, so much of this stuff is a scam, and then they sit there and keep the scams up because people are walking headlong right into following them, and they keep people distracted from the scam or from asking questions about the scam by pushing this stupid minutia, which is the division tactics, so that you don't ask about the man behind the curtain. What's really going on? Well, they don't want people asking those questions because guess what? You know, we'd rather have you arguing with each other about, you know, what color's better and you know, what is a woman and, you know, everything else. Yeah. And it's ridiculous, but that's the game. That is the game.
Yep.
You know,
exactly right.
And I'm so proud of, again, the viewers that we have that regularly come in and watch this program and participate, because everybody is smart enough to see the writing on the wall and what is actually going on. And that is what I am so proud of when it comes to the people that watch and support this channel and this program. You know, because I don't think it's lost on any of us that, you know, we're in a fight for humanity. And going back to Georgia Maloney, she's finally the first one putting it out there. And there needs to be more of us. And we need to get more populist leaders in that will take that stand for humanity and break away from this nonsense and this whole scam of what they're trying to push. The World Economic Forum is not your friend. A one world government should not be the agenda that you want. The collectivist society is not what you want. Trust me. We're on the road to ruin if we follow their plan. And there is going to be a whole lot of dead people around the world if we follow that plan.
No, you're exactly right. And I think that what is it they always say? Hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. I think that's what you really need to do. And I wasn't being just sardonic and dark by saying, you know, you need to start thinking about stocking up on potassium iodide. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Right. You know, and I know that you know, you and Netters know what's up and what time it is, and you guys are quietly preparing, you know, and that's what we need to do, you know, and listen, folks, it's like I always say, it does not hurt for all of us that you know, we talk about fellowship, but listen, a lot of us are going to be in the foxhole together. It doesn't hurt to, you know, make relationships outside of just being online. You know, stay in touch. Make sure that we're communicating, because at some point that may be critical.
And look at being self-sufficient, right? They clearly don't want Germany to be self-sufficient. They want them dependent on the West, right? Ukraine dependent on the West. They want everyone dependent on them, right? But you see the same thing happening right here, okay? Why do you keep hearing them wanting to take away your guns? Well, you don't need guns because we have a military and we have police, and let them take care. Don't take care of yourself. Let us take care of you, right? We don't want you saying, false things and, false facts and whatnot. We'll tell you what's true. We'll tell you what to believe. Listen to our media, not alternative media, right? Be dependent on us. Have you heard the latest? Well, you've seen the case with the Amish bloke that the Food and Drug Administration is trying to shut down, right? Because he's selling raw milk and, not following FDA guidelines, and they're trying to shut him down. That's going to be a very interesting case. It's probably going to make it to SCOTUS. But now there's also talk about you have a home garden. They want you to register that with the federal government and follow their guidelines for success in your garden, because that's a good thing, and we want to know where your food's coming from. So we'll just keep track of that garden too. Register your guns, register your garden. We're gonna monitor how much heat you use. But it's all for the greater good. The greater good. The greater good.
Yeah, what's funny, interesting fact, and I retweeted this earlier. That came across. That really bad shit that's in Coca-Cola, the aspartame. Who helped get that through? Donald Rumsfeld. Just letting you know.
But I don't know where.
Remember what I was saying earlier about
horrible's going to happen. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Remember what I was saying earlier about, just because they're Republicans doesn't mean they're not statists?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the globalists are on both sides, and a lot of what we see in our own government is all political theater.
I think that what we saw in the primaries this year, though, has sent a very loud message to the statists. If you want to maintain your power, you either have to start actually listening to the people, your constituents, otherwise you won't be getting reelected, or there's got to be more election fornication. In other words, remove from us the ability to vote you in and out.
Right, exactly. We don't.
And yes, I meant to use the word fornication because I'm a little concerned that certain words trigger things on YouTube.
We don't like the way that you make your choice, so the choice will be made for you, and that
under the guise of your ability to still make the choice.
Exactly, right. and that is the core of all of this. And that's what I think intimidates a lot of people, and why some people go, vote apathetic, if you will, because, they feel largely defeated. There's a lot of people that know what's going on, but find themselves in that defeatist mentality anymore because they say, well, the choice has been taken out of my hands. What do I have left? Well, Vince puts it very succinct right here. It's the number one reason for the Second Amendment, and that is that is one thing where we all agree. Stock up on protection and ammo now, and I'll tell you guys, when I had a month or so back, when I had that unfortunate burglary here. And things got taken, and again, screw you, State Farm, for not helping me.
Yep.
I will eventually, when I can. The first thing I intend to replace is my firearm, because unfortunately that was taken. but I intend to replace that when I can.
And that is exactly the argument that I red pilled somebody on. They were saying exactly, I live in a good neighborhood and I can call the police if someone's trying to break into my house and da da da. I said, really? Just remember, okay, when seconds count, the police are at least minutes away. And then he had a situation where he had an emergency, had to call the police. It wasn't like an invasion thing, but the police took over an hour to show up. I'm like, well, if someone was breaking into your house, you'd have been dead.
Right. And the thing
Rain
is,
can't save you now.
and the thing is, dude, it can happen anywhere. There's a big reason, folks, where, as I said, after I pay that money back to the bank, which, hopefully we can get that done, we can get that money raised. But when I pay that money back to the bank and I can finish putting the house on the market, that's why I'm getting the hell out of here. Yep. I need to get out of this city because it's really unsafe here.
I would encourage everyone that can get out of all the cities. Even if you feel like you're in a good state, get away from the cities.
I intend to, after the house sells, I am going to, take the proceeds and pay the appropriate parties that need paid. And after that, I'm going to just save up. I'm going to buy, something that I can move into that's in a nice little rural pocket that I don't have to, sweat who's going to come beating my door down. Yep. Because it's ridiculous. It's unsafe here. The response time of the police is absolutely ridiculous because our police in my city, specifically here in Lorain, Ohio, they've got a bare bones police force.
Tell them how long it took. Tell them how long it took to get to you after you reported the break-in.
After I reported the break-in, I actually had.
Tell them why it took so long.
I actually had to go file a report on my own, and then number two, it took so long for them to get here.
Yeah.
Because
of real crimes.
Yeah. I mean, it was just ridiculous. I after I requested an officer to come by to even take my report, or amend it because I had to add things that were missing to it. It took them 2 hours to even get a cop out here, just to do that.
And in a lot of these cities now, they're being told they're not allowed to take any actions. So what they're really coming out to do is fill out a report. They're showing up to say, okay, who was injured, who was killed, what was stolen. Okay, you can get the report from the police department for your insurance. That's about all they're doing now.
Yeah, time profit. I've seen the videos about that too. I mean, that's ridiculous that they're just openly policing speech now.
Yeah,
I mean that's crazy.
Excellent point.
That's happening.
Because to them, silence is violence and words can kill.
Yeah. Brian, it's funny you say come to Florida. That is something that may be under consideration. I'm not gonna lie because my job actually has I can transfer my job there because the company has an office in Florida. So
there you go.
That's not off the table, dude. But
that's gonna force me to do something I hate doing, and that's get on a plane.
But the thing is, as we're closing in on the 7 p.m. hour, and I got to get ready to eat dinner. Listen, folks, this was a fantastic show, fantastic conversation. I'm glad that Troy was able to join in and be the ever-present awesome co-host that he was, and I'm glad that Will We're glad that Will was able to jump in and do the same thing.
That I was able to infiltrate this.
Yeah, but we don't have the usual suspects tonight for
you have the unusual suspects.
For right, exactly. Because
Suspect or not, I just like to think I'm unusual.
I know everybody's kind of scattered around because it's Saturday, and again, this was out of the norm because usually we're on Tuesdays, and I had so much going on Tuesday that I wasn't able to do it now, or do it on Tuesday, but I was able to do it now. And again, thank you so much for Troy and for Will being here, and thank you guys for sharing out Mom's Fund. Again,
don't forget, click right there. Before you leave, help out somebody in the community. It'll really go a long way.
Mirror effect.
Yeah,
that's right. Let's try to get that goal, because, like I said, if I could get the bank paid off, folks, and everything, then we'll be in good shape. I can get this house on the market and get on with the new start. It goes somewhere safe. And that's the thing. I want to keep doing these streams, and I want to keep doing them in a in a safe place where I'm not going to get shot. So that would greatly help.
And subscribe to the panel. We all appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'm 20 away from 500. I'm kind of excited about that.
And that said, Troy, go ahead and let the lovely people know where you can be found.
Well, I can be found at, here on YouTube. What is my YouTube handle? It's at Troy Pacelli, TroyPacelli. I am also on the, the Twitter tweets. That's at Pacelli, Pacelli, Troy. A lot more of this kind of political stuff over on the Twitters, a little bit more laid back and whatnot on YouTube. Although that may be changing. I can't say what's going to happen in the future. Find me every Friday on YouTube, streaming, usually with a guest YouTuber. If there's anyone that's trying to promote their YouTube channel, reach out to me. I'd love to have you and support your channel and get the word out. We grow together, as PJ from Orville Nation says. Tomorrow night, normally I would be on Aged Boomer's channel doing Geeky Geezers, but he's in the path of Ivan, or Ian, or Ian, or whatever the name of that hurricane is.
It's a soft name, whatever it is.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to do it myself. So, again, subscribe to me. For tomorrow, for Geeky Geezers, get the week's geek news and a little bit of commentary. And tonight, over on Netter's Network, she's in the chat. She's sitting right across from me. We're going to be doing a rewatch of what was the Book of Life. Yes, we're and I'll provide a link so that you can watch along with us. And we're going to have special guest hosts. Paulie Latino Slant and Mikey the Mexican Iron Man.
Yeah, and Troy, let Netters know. Hey, Netters, one of these times we're going to have you on United Resistance, young lady.
There you go. Yeah, I'm sure she'd love to come hang out with you.
And listen, you have an open invite anytime, my friend. You know that. I love streaming with you, Troy, because you're good people, and
thanks.
You know what's going on, brother.
Unfortunately, I do.
Yeah. So
that's what we're all about here.
All right, Will, let your adoring public know what's going on.
First of all, this was actually how I met Troy. And to me, first impressions are everything. And as far as you're concerned, Troy, you knocked it out of the park. And I really hope that you're on this show.
Thanks, man.
On a somewhat of a regular basis from here on out. As for our boy Drew, you know the story. You know that he's trying to get out of that hellhole Lorraine. And frankly, since I live near him, I want you all to helped hit the goal for the fund.
Yep.
So inevitably, I can give Drew his early Christmas present of a one-day U-Haul rental. And I'm really looking forward to that.
All right.
Merry Christmas, bro.
Yeah. And listen, again, thank you, everybody. Even if you just share the link for Mom's Memorial Fund out, let's bring that last bit home. And, if we can hit that goal, that'll be awesome. I could pay that last installment on her funeral costs and also pay what I need to on the mortgage so that it's not in danger of sheriff's auction. And we could get this place sold because, like I said, I do want to get the hell out of this city. It's unsafe. And after the burglary happened, that kind of told me all I need to know.
Yeah.
So the ultimate red flag.
Tobat says, "Damn it, Will, get the channel."
You guys are good. You know what the thing is? I feel like I'm being forced into it, and I may actually have to submit. So
yeah, you will. At least come on, Will. I mean, don't go against the popular.
Respond well to pressure. You know that.
Don't go against the popular narrative.
Right.
I don't want to hear any more of these lies about reckless spending. We're changing people's lives.
We're going to mobilize certain out of the pressure.
Think that helps? You really think that helps?
Well, that, or you could just start doing cocaine and hookers. Hookers
it's a hell of a drug, I hear.
Play the clip.
Spending $150 million on cocaine would make sense.
Yep. All right, folks. Thank you again.
Maybe I'll just start doing cocaine. Forget the channel.
Yeah, thank you again for
maybe both.
Tuning in to United Resistance. We love you. Don't forget gibsongo.com/Taylor Legacy. I will see you guys Tuesday for another episode of United Resistance. And don't forget, I will see you Sunday or tomorrow night for what is that show I do, Will? Oh, the Midnight Prism. That's right. That's right.
You have a channel. You can't remember what it is. I don't. Okay.
I don't know. Well, I got a boomer something.
Yeah.
That's how this works. All right. Thank you again, folks, man. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Just another red shirt for wrenching. Gap, thank you for wrenching. Thank everyone else that has been wrenching in here. I appreciate you guys so much. And Brian and Tobat and everybody that's been here, just hanging out, Vince and Cheesy Burton and my goodness, Brightest Day, thank you so much. Glinzer and Time Prophet and Phil TMNT was here. Shout out to Phil. Low Spec Linux Laptop, Tree Rock Creations, awesome one was in the house. We also had, let's see, at the beginning, I know somebody snuck in here. Oh, Tina Bojan was, of course, here. She was wrenching and keeping an eye on things. And,
as usual.
Yeah, we just had a cast of thousands tonight. And again, thank you for your constant support and for really just helping me get to the truth. And also, Brian versus World, man, love you, dude. We got to talk soon. And yeah, like I said, we're in a fight for humanity, folks. Just remember that. And let's win, because I know we can. And I know if we stick together, we will. So just everybody look out for everyone else. Let's watch each other six. And I will see you again on Tuesday. So take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hi, Coast Casino.
Hey, welcome to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm E. Temple Kuyan of the Place to Be Reviews.
I am the Patriot, True Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic.
The Red Gaze on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter.
What up, what up, what up?
Hello, everybody. It's me, Vinny.
The voice of Immortal Coil.
Oh, hey, I am the Ghost Bear.
What's going on, Tommy? You didn't get anybody to like this?
Yeah, I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Tone Death, rockin'.
We have a lot of cool things over there. I did some magic tricks.
Hi guys, try to stay here.
My name is Mike the Knight.